Donald Trump does not understand money or even how the economy works. And for the record, that's not just coming from me, that's actually coming from the editorial board of the Rupert Murdoch-owned Wall Street Journal, a very right-wing publication, probably the largest right-wing publication in the country, owned by the same guy that owns Fox News. And those conservatives on the editorial board issued an editorial in the last couple days blasting Donald Trump's complete lack of intelligence for his statements about the Fed, inflation, and tariffs. As we all know, we got the January inflationary report last week that shows that inflation was up 3% in January alone compared to a year before. The price of eggs is skyrocketing, price of other consumer goods starting to go up again. And as the Journal points out, it's all because of Donald Trump's tariffs. But here's the thing. Donald Trump not only attempted to shift the blame of the inflation from himself to President Biden, he also, in midst of the high inflation, got on Truth Social and said that interest rates need to be lowered and that this would go hand in hand with upcoming tariffs. And it's that point that the Wall Street Journal editorial board was like, we can't even suffer this anymore because this man is so painfully stupid. So here is what the editorial board said about Donald Trump calling for interest rate cuts along with his tariffs. They said, quote, "Does President Trump understand money? The answer would appear to be no. Perhaps the president wants the public to look elsewhere when assigning blame for rising prices, but the layers of intellectual confusion here are hard to parse. Rising inflation means the Fed must be more cautious in cutting rates. He has the analysis backward. If he's trying to blame the Federal Reserve, someone should tell him that this is what happens." I'm sorry, but I just love, is he so dumb he doesn't get this? Listen, before I even continue this, let me point out something here. Sure, President Biden was the president for most of the month of January when the inflation was rising 3%. However, the reason inflation was rising was not because of what Biden was doing, it was because of the anticipation of what Trump was about to do, namely put tariffs on everyone and everything. In response to that, prices started going up. That is what happened. So even if Trump wasn't president, the anticipation of his stated policies is what drove that inflation. So you cannot blame that on Biden. But when Biden was president, in order to get inflation under control, which they did a really good job with, the Fed raised interest rates to make it more expensive to borrow money. So fewer people borrowed money, spending went down, inflation followed. That's how that works. Does it create a little bit of pain in the economy? Absolutely. But does it work? 100%. And the Wall Street Journal is trying to point out Trump's trying to do the opposite. Inflation's going up, so he wants the Fed to cut rates? That would cause a period of hyperinflation in this country, the likes of which we have never seen. And it would basically destroy the entire U.S. economy. That is what the Wall Street Journal is warning us about. But then they went a little further. The last thing Mr. Trump should be doing now is demanding that Mr. Powell cut rates further. An inflation revival may be the biggest threat to the Trump presidency. Real average earnings are flat over the last 3 months. If this persists, Mr. Trump won't have a 53% job approval rating for long. I don't think he's going to have it for long anyway, considering how horrible everything has gone so far. But it is what it is. Trump is stupid. He doesn't understand the economy, or at least he's pretending to not understand it with the policies he's pushing. But I don't think he's pretending. I think he's genuinely just that stupid. You know, he always brags about going, I went to the Wharton School of Business. Okay, well, maybe you could get a refund on your tuition because clearly you did not learn anything. I think Wharton owes you that. I think it owes the country that. Like, hey, sorry, we suck at teaching, but, you know, this is our star pupil here telling us to do things that are basically going to destroy the economy. And at this point, I think everybody on the left knew that, but even the outlets on the right, like the Wall Street Journal, can't hide their contempt for this man's economic stupidity anymore. And that's after only just 1 month in office. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.